What's up, guys? It is Ross. You can follow me there from PXF. I'm with my man Mac from PXF, but today we have a special edition of the Paradigm Review Show. We're going a little bit outside our usual reviews. We normally do film reviews and whatever else we come across, and for a long time we've been meaning to get to with the whatever else that we come across. So this time it's Fight Club 2 by Chuck Palahniuk, artwork by Cameron Stewart, and the cover art is by David Mack. And I want everybody to take a good look at that cover art because it's super awesome. And David
That's not good enough for y'all here. Yeah. Have a second dose.
Yeah. So for the rest of the show, we're just going to be holding up our graphic novels here, and we're just saying maybe we'll say some things if we feel like it. But if you think the cover is awesome, then when you actually read into the rest of the book, so this is a graphic novel. So this is, I don't know, maybe some Fight Club fans don't know about this because this is probably the newest, version of what is out in the Fight Club universe compared to the original novel, which is the book, which then became the movie with Brad Pitt and Edward Norton. So yeah, if you follow the Fight Club canon, there's, the book, which is a little bit different from the film, but both are still awesome, of Fight Club 1. And then you have a graphic novel of Fight Club 2. And since we're venturing out deep into the depths of the Paradigm universe here on our review show, a graphic novel is basically an animated novel. So it's much longer than a comic book. It generally has a lot more text, but it also has tons of graphics per page, per slide, and full page graphics and all that stuff. So my version is a hard.
So we're just talking to our non-comic book fans.
Yep, for sure. And mostly what I read, and I'm seeing a lot of what Mac reads too, is graphic novels. So my version is the hard copy. Is that what you have? The hardcover? Looks like Mac froze up on us, folks. So we'll see if we can get him unfrozen. Mac, can you hear me? If he needs to drop, we'll get him dropped. But that is a funny face that he's making there. So sorry, everybody. We gave it our best effort, and you can see us next time on Paradigm Review Show.
Video keeps, video.
There you go. Now you're back.
Look,
what were you saying, man?
You're gonna see me cut off if now reception just a little weak, So if I cut off a little, I'll come back. Just bear with me, y'all. But anyway, VX, reiterate what we were saying again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just joking about saying we're going to leave everybody, but welcome back. This is what you get. This is a perfect thing to happen during the Fight Club 2 review because this book is so discombobulated, and the way he jumps around in memories, it's like the movie Memento, how he cuts back and forth in the timeline, because this guy jumps around a crazy amount in this. But anyway, all I was saying was I have the hardcover, Mac. Is that what you have?
Yes, I do. I have the
sweet.
In fact, no, I have. I think the paperback. I think the paperback on mine. But
check that out. I got the hardcover.
Yeah, but it's pretty. You. Look, I'm a little jelly now. Okay.
See. Anyway,
I just wanted to state though, man.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I just wanted to start off. You know what I mean? This was definitely, how you said, very discombobulating read, but if you follow it very closely, then you won't get lost, obviously. You know what I mean?
Okay, so let's start with Fight Club 1.
Right.
How do you want to explain that in the timelines? Guys, Max said we're talking to our graphic novel fans, but also for the film heads, basically, we're going to assume that you've seen the movie Fight Club 1 because it came out a very, very long time ago. So if you're even watching a Fight Club 2 review, we're assuming that you know what happens in Fight Club 1. So in Fight Club 1, spoiler alert, there are two characters named Tyler Durden played by Brad Pitt, and then you have Edward Norton, who it basically doesn't say his name, but it refers to him as like Jack. He often says the phrase, "I am Jack." So Mac, take it from there. Tell them whatever you want them to know about Fight Club 1, and then you can relate that into Fight Club 2 when you're ready. So
First to him as a narrator.
Yeah,
Jack. But I mean, movie. Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. The first, obviously the you know. You can see in the movie about this character who of consumerism, and then you know, I mean, what you call it? He's trapped in his own prison of this sofa of consumerism and self-importance, and you know, it explores more of the character of like, you know, stepping outside the boundaries and becoming more of a rebel of his own time, you know. And obviously, you know, it's something that was in the back of his mind, but it's something that he never explored until he met his other person, came out of nowhere, known as Tyler Durden. Tyler Durden came to him as like a sort of like if he was a person that he just met out of nowhere, you know what I mean? And
right.
Eventually, those two start together. You know, it becomes like a friendship of hell. You know what I mean? Let's just say right there, where he starts to find out who Tyler Durden really is, and basically, you know, his intentions and his mission and such, and how his hand of it, uninvolvedly, not even knowing, you know what I mean, got involved and shit. So yeah, but basically one ended off how it did. Basically, Tyler Durden and had pretty much him and his team were ready to set off building set off the whole financial district and such as to reset you know, the credit score, you know, America. I don't even know how I say it. Like, just pretty much.
It basically erased the debt. Yeah, but so basically
America down to zero, just to like an attack on capitalism, basically. But at the same time, erase the debt. Yeah. They erased the debt. That's what it was. And square off between Tyler the Rebel and control of his own self. You know, Jack overcame it, obviously, in the end, but you know, he ended up with the love interest in there, Marla, who's fucked up herself. You know, trying to, you know, revel in her own time, obviously, but yeah, and it ended.
Okay, so let me jump in, Mac, and speed you up.
In flames, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, that was pretty. But yeah, this is where part 2, I think, comes in. And it doesn't even matter though, because in the beginning of part 2, it has a prologue, so kind of re-explains all this. Yeah,
true. So basically, like Max said, Tyler is Jack's repressed personality. He basically has split personalities that are warring with each other. So at the end, like the second half of the Fight Club 1 movie, he basically joins Tyler. He joins Tyler's revolution, but then eventually Tyler like ultimately rejects him and wants to take control. And so he basically, when he basically shoots himself at the end of Fight Club 1, the bullet comes out and that basically kills Tyler's existence. So he's in control of himself again. But then as Max said, in Fight Club 2, you could guess that like eventually Tyler is he going to have to deal with Tyler again, or is Tyler coming back? So I'll let you pick it up.
Cover, that cover should give you a hint right there. So yeah,
that's pretty much both of them in the same mind once again. So you could, if you want to pick up Fight Club 2 back, you can pick up kind of where it starts or whatever, or wherever you want it. Wherever you want to let them in.
Yeah, basically after that prologue, which is basically much the ending of the first one, starts with like 9 years later. Not Tyler. I'm sorry. Jack, who is now revealed his name as Sebastian.
Yeah, Sebastian.
Or
Yep.
if that is his real name.
Yeah, it's just the one he's using. Yeah.
Sebastian. Yeah. So yeah, that's the one he's using. That's the name he's going with, and he's sticking to it. You know. Basically, he started a new life with Marla, the love interest of the first one, and and as you can see, 9 years later, their lives haven't even gotten any better in marriage. They have a child, and they had a couple of happy memories in the beginning, but then you could see, it kind of went towards a down spiral because Marla's losing excitement in her marriage and such. She misses Tyler, let's say. Tyler was Tyler was blowing the shit out of her in the first one, so shit. But she
Tyler's the crazier, power trip side.
Yeah, pretty much. And you can see like she kind of misses that excitement about that character right there, but about Sebastian, I mean, but Sebastian's just replacing Tyler with like medication and drugs and awesome stuff, just to like repress those memories again because he doesn't want to bring that guy out again. And obviously he feel like he killed him in the first one, but obviously you could tell it was temporarily because he's still living and it could be going on still. So,
it could come back. Like he's basically a 9-to-5er, kind of like working a daily office job, like how Jack was like in the beginning of Fight Club 1. Like he's like repeating the cycle, like kind of before Jack met him the first time,
Yeah, and instead of the office building that he used to work for, now he works for a Merck company, I think. So yeah.
So
and
So keep it going. Let him know what happens next. Okay.
Anyway, like pretty much Sebastian is like going through his life, in the beginning of the story and such. Basically talking about where he's at now. What he felt like, he left his revolution for now, for this 9-to-5 gig, as you said, VX. Now he just wants to live a regular life for what it seems like, but he wants that love.
How he tries to,
that flame, you know what I'm saying? Like that sparked an excitement to come right back into his like when he first met Marla and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but still, he wants to do it without bringing Tyler back because obviously that guy's a psycho. But
yeah.
You know what I mean? But man, eventually basically he starts to like I think cut off on the medication once he heard like his wife, I think like his wife went to one of those meetings and he overheard his wife say something about their marriage, and that's when he said fuck the medication, you know what I mean, I don't even care no more.
Well, hold on, isn't there something that happens before that?
You went to the Fight Club, you saw what happened and shit.
Yeah, but I think there's something that happens before that, so it focuses more on his son, Junior, and then like Junior was like, I don't know, lighting things on fire or something. He burned down a building and blew something up. And he asked him who you were talking to, and he basically said like he was like talking to like Tyler on the phone, like. So
basically, if you follow the hints of the first movie and all that, and what Jack, aka Sebastian, was all about, then him being that his son, then you can see where this might be going after seeing it, foreshadowing, basically. So
So Junior was basically doing this like proto Project Mayhem kind of mission, like burning down buildings and stuff like that, and like they wondered why he was acting so crazy. And he basically said that like he was taking phone calls from like Tyler. So like most likely Tyler was telling him to do that stuff, which is an interesting detail. So
pretty much that's what it comes down to. Okay, so that's what happened. Yeah, he went to the home and then found Junior, and then all that happened, and then pretty much then he went over there to find Marla and and overheal that, and that's when he said, you know what, fuck it all, you know what I'm saying? Like went to the Fight Club. He wasn't even taking his medication, man, and
Yeah.
Went through all, just getting back into the mix of where he once was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And,
yeah, for sure.
as you can see, he didn't take this medication, and that's when Tyler, around this time, starts to return. VX, I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah, so you can see that like if I'm not mistaken, he was going to Sebastian was going to his therapist, and they would talk about like Tyler, and I recall like if he asked him like if Tyler might be coming back and shit. So basically, at this point, you're kind of waiting for Sebastian and Tyler to cross over again, like how they clashed in the first one, which you pretty much think is like is probably like what's going to happen. So I don't know. I don't know how much like we want to do spoilers and stuff, but I'm just going to pretty much say that I'm going to say that Tyler shows up, but this is what I'm going to say: how they're drawn in the graphic novel, how Sebastian and Tyler are drawn are not like as Edward Norton or Brad Pitt. So when you're basically coming into this like expecting Fight Club 2 and see the movie, that's not really what you see. That they don't really have the likeness of Ed Norton and Brad Pitt, but nonetheless, it's pretty much the same dynamic as far as the relationship between the characters.
Yeah,
and
like obviously the blonde one is Tyler, the dark-haired one is Sebastian. So you'll know who is who when you. Yeah,
Tyler has a more modern, new school attitude in this one. And
yeah, I mean, he gets.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he do.
And Junior comes out to be a pretty awesome character. So yeah, I don't want to blow too much of it, but I just want to say that every detail is awesome, from the way the word bubbles are structured, to the artwork, to the coloring, to obviously the dialogue, and all the jokes and metaphors have Chuck Key's whole signature style that you're used to from the kind of dialogue in the film, and obviously the kind of material that you read in the book Fight Club 1, if you in fact did read the novel. I would say Marla gets a lot more involved into the story in this one than she really did in the first one. She's kind of like a more major character in this one between them two, Sebastian and Tyler. You know what I mean?
Like even hyper realistic.
Go ahead, bro.
She does. And matter of fact, she goes through. Obviously, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be real with her. I will book, man. She worried the shit out of me in that one, man.
Yeah, this is way more over the top than the book.
I don't even know if you heard all of that. She definitely was like, she been through some crazy shit in the book, like 5 party crazies. You know what I mean? Like, how you say, way.
You kind of froze up a bit again, bro. Mac, we got you back. All right, I'm going to take it from here, y'all. We got you back, bro? All right, I'm going to take it from here, y'all. So one of the, like we said, the artwork is awesome. There's some totally extreme characters that relate back to the original story. And also, you got me, bro? Yeah, it looks like Mac is coming in and out, so I'm going to do my best to hold it down here, guys. But again, Fight Club 2, if you're a big fan of Fight Club 1, Fight Club 1 book, check it out. It's epic. Looks like Mac just dropped out there, so I'm going to try to re-add him if he pops back in. And here we go. You. What's up, bro? You back?
Like I said, folks, forgive me. I got shitty connection, all right? So Sorry.
Yes, you do. So we kind of went out in and out there, but yeah, obviously Tyler has a new mission in this one that's bigger than you know what I'm saying, Project Mayhem in the last one. It's more like a world domination kind of thing. So you guys will see how that turns out with all sorts of international conspiracy theories. I do want to say that Chuck added like a bunch of like known pop culture conspiracy theories in here, which I thought was an awesome detail. Like kind of it really modernized the Fight Club mythos. That one reference me and you like, Mac, is that film reel he shows of the JFK assassination. That's a really fresh part. He also references like Charles Manson and the Helter Skelter. So there's just a whole lot of like 60s, 70s, 80s kind of like known conspiracy references that are kind of awesome. And Mac and I both thought that was sweet.
And it's so crazy that they, you know, they use that and at the same time, you know, check what's going on during the timeline and such, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
What his situations are somehow in parallel to like, you know, all of that, you know, basically what his mission is and, you know, what he's trying to do and such, you know what I mean? But, yo, Tyler turned terrorist on this one, man.
Yeah, he definitely, if you think like Project Mayhem is like local, then like what Tyler does in this one is more of like a anti-Rainbow Six, international, like it's some Interpol shit.
It's how you say his magnum opus or something, you know?
Yeah, he definitely like. That's what I'm thinking. If they're gonna do a 3, I'm like, I don't know how Tyler could like outdo that because he already just tried to do the craziest thing that was ever. Like,
I kind of hope they don't make a 3, honestly, but we'll get into that once we talk about the into the end of the book. But definitely though, you know, with everything that Marla's going through right now, wanted to isolate herself from the situation and ended up being in Bangladesh, some country, you know what I mean, that her husband's Merc team is pretty much at fighting a conflict that, you know what I mean, dodging bombs and bullets and shooting and all that. Like you would think like, okay, you see Marla in the first movie, all she did was just chill at Tyler's house or chill at her own apartment.
That's what I was saying.
Chilling at the meetings. But now you see all of a sudden in this freaking Middle Eastern war zone. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. She basically leads this paramilitary kind of militia group into a war zone, and she's basically in like a friggin' full on combat situation, which is like really dope for her to be bringing up that revolution aspect. You know what I mean? Brought her character full circle. She's in the craziest situation out of like all 3 of them.
But what I also liked about that, along with like, you know, Sebastian himself, you know what I mean? It's like they're both like, you could tell like they're both pretty much like reflecting on things at the same time.
Right.
Like, what would be the end result of all this? Like, what would be the end? Are we gonna like split? Are we gonna just be done with each other? Or am I really gonna? You could tell like he really loved her. You know what I mean? But he just like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like the whole shit is just fucked up between those two and all that. Not to mention Marla, you know, wanting Tyler. That not Tyler, but the excitement. Crazy.
Sure. I mean, I think it's kind of like you said, with all that crazy situation going on that like escalated as high as it could possibly escalate. Like it seemed like they were still thinking about each other. You know, like in the midst of all of it, they were still thinking about each other. You know what I mean? Which is pretty nuts. But I mean, you can bring it. I don't want to like cover every single detail. I don't really want to blow the ending for him. But if you want to take it a little bit more further, you can tell him some more of what else happens. It's up to you.
Nah, there's like I said, I'm not gonna cover everything because there's a lot in the book that we haven't even.
Yeah, it's pretty long. It's like 300 pages, I think. Yeah, it's like 275, like, 276.
Trust me, what we're talking about is just little key points at this point. I mean, they're major, but at the same time, we're not telling you too much right here.
Yeah, we didn't tell you every detail as far as the story arcs. It goes in, you know, just like part 1, it goes in really deep into all the layers of both characters. So.
Exactly. And obviously when it gets to part 2, then that's where it's pretty much like, okay, now you see where like the 2 characters are in a conflict with each other, not to mention with, you know, the character dealing with his own own,
Yeah.
crazy personality, running loose. Yeah, this child, Junior, Junior, man, he a little psycho, bro.
Yeah. Junior's he's super like he's like a mixture of Jack's worst and Tyler. So he takes it to the extreme because he has like no limit, like.
And not to mention even that part. There's also a segment in the book where Tyler even explains about his origins to Sebastian. So you're gonna learn about that if you read this book. Also, this is the origin of Tyler Durden goes deep in his family bloodline. So
Yep. Hell yeah. So it's pretty.
He's gonna talk about you. Damn, he's somebody I can't get out of my life, and you can tell that's hell.
Yeah,
like Sebastian right there.
Yeah, I mean it's extremely descriptive, and even the way Cameron Stewart draws, basically how they wanted to get things across. You know what I mean? When he shows it's super graphic. I mean, it has all the same elements of the movie, and by that I mean just explosions and I'm saying body parts and like it's definitely R-rated. He definitely doesn't hold back at any of the stuff he shows you, but the Cameron Stewart's style of his artistic style of illustration perfectly describes exactly what matches the dialogue and what matches the text. You know what I mean? So that's what makes it so good. I think it's a different dimension to the Fight Club universe because it's a different medium. But at the same time, like Mac was saying, it perfectly follows the story arcs. It perfectly follows the Fight Club mythos. So yeah, it's a different way to see it. But by it being illustrated, they're not limited to what you're limited in doing as shooting a movie where Dave Fincher has to go to set and get Brad Pitt and Edward Norton, and they got to go make all the 3D graphics for all that other stuff, explosions that they want to show and stuff. Like in this, they could do whatever they want. So you got to think they're going to turn it up all the way they're going to crank it up all the way because they don't have to go out there and shoot this with cameras. They literally don't have to hold back. So as far as explosions and wars, like
bro, Hollywood needs to leave this one alone. I think this was better as a graphic novel.
Yes, I agree.
Matter of fact,
I agree.
The craziness that they say that's been displayed in this book can't be made into a movie. It would look ridiculous as a movie.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. It looks awesome as this because these guys weren't limited to cameras and they weren't limited to anything. So they just, other than the book, which you'd say is like mostly unrestricted because it's just words on a page. But then the film is awesome. Don't get me wrong. But if you want to see Tyler go all the way up to past 10, it's only going to happen in Fight Club 2, the graphic novel, because this is where, like Max said, it's totally unrestricted madness.
So it's definitely a suggestion from us, man. It's definitely something that we prefer that everyone read because, I mean, especially if you're into graphic novels and such, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
No, because this was definitely a read and it definitely has adds more to the Fight Club story,
that's a lot more.
Exactly. And it expands more on who Tyler Durden is and Sebastian and Marla, where they lie, and you know what I mean. In the ending, I'm not gonna talk about the ending, but the ending by far is the craziest. I think it's the most well, I ain't gonna say fourth wall-ish, but I'll just
I mean, you're gonna see a lot of awesome classic Fight Club characters, you know what I mean? So you're gonna see a lot of awesome stuff. So
some return, some of your favorites return. Like Robert Paulson. His name is Robert Paulson. You're gonna Angel Face talks back. So
I was gonna keep that one a secret, but thanks, Mac. So anyway,
Hey, I'm sorry.
Fight Club 2 by Chuck P. Cover art by David Mack. Artwork by Cameron Stewart. Mac, what are you giving it for a rating?
I give it a 10. 10 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10.
Because let's be real, like something like this sort of story was just convoluted out of so much unique, writing. You know what I mean? Like just to like, take what was like previous from the first story, and bridge it like this, and then bridge it into something more crazier is just like That's genius, man. Like this guy really did go, because in the first one it was like basically they have its like own revolutionary messages also. Like the first one's about consumerism and such, but this capitalism. But this one's more on like, you know,
a global scale.
Yeah,
it's like geopolitical, conspiracy theory. Yeah, exactly.
Illuminati, like
definitely.
They really give it to you on this one, man.
I think he did a great job. If that was Chuck P that put those concepts in there, then that was awesome because it shows that he keeps up with everything. You know what I mean? Like he knows a lot of stuff, and he added, like you said, it was like an added dimension. It worked perfectly in the Fight Club mythos, but it was like adding more. Like you said, it was like adding more onto it. So shout out to Dark Horse Books. This is actually a Dark Horse Comics. This is a Dark Horse book. So you can shout out to them. Dark
Horse Books.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, in this case, it's Dark Horse Books. So definitely get with them on that. That's all I got. You got anything else for Beck?
Nah, I ain't got much more but to say get the book and read it, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Anyway, I don't even gonna have my tag right there, but if you want to follow me, you can follow PXF or Twitter. It's the same. So yeah.
Yep.
Catch up. Review. If you enjoyed this graphic novel, write in the comment section, subscribe. At PXF. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you want us to do more graphic novels, we're down to do that too. We could do.
Yep.
You want to make suggestions in the comments? But yeah,
I got the Punisher. I got a couple of the Punisher Max comics that Mac recommended to me. Me and Mac have read the Crow graphic novel. So if you guys want us to do stuff that they've made movies out of, we could do that. I have the 300 hardcover. So I usually read a lot of ones that they have movies on. So I have quite a few of those. So if you have any suggestions or you want us to keep the special graphic novel edition, leave it in the comments or suggest what graphic novels you guys like or ones that you want us to see us review. If you're a Fight Club fan, I highly suggest that you get Fight Club 2. You can get the hard cover, you can get the soft cover, you can get the soft copy for your iPad or mobile devices if you just prefer to swipe through. We suggest supporting it however you can. I guess there was some talk I did hear about the Fight Club 3 being a sequel to this, Mac. Did you want to drop your thoughts on that before we go?
The reason why I wouldn't think of, if Chuck's gonna write it, then you know what, I'll give it a shot just because
he probably will.
You can think of something even more crazier. You know what I'm saying? And
which at that point,
get more crazy than this one.
I would be crapping my pants if you could make it crazier than 2, because 3 is going to be a book to crap your pants.
That's the thing. I don't think you can make it as crazy as 2, because 2 was so freaking nuts, man.
Well, Chuck is a crazy guy, so who knows?
Well, who knows, man? If he could pull it off for 3, then you know what? I'll get it. As for trying to make from another author or whatever, I wouldn't. Just because it wouldn't have the same ideas, it wouldn't even have the same feel, it wouldn't even have the same writing context.
Yeah, I don't think they would change that, because if you think about it, he wrote 1. They made the movie of the screenplay based off what he wrote in 1, and then obviously he wrote this one as 2 as well. So. It doesn't. Yeah. I don't think, unless he sold it, you know what I mean, it wouldn't make any sense. But yeah, man, the artwork is awesome. Writing is classic Chuck P. Definitely check it out. I think you guys will write it. Fight Club 3 maybe coming out soon.
You see right there, New York Times bestseller list. That means you can get it.
If it's good enough for them, check it out, man. All the artwork is sick. So Fight Club Part 3 maybe coming. We'll see what they do there. But this is Paradigm Review Show, special graphic novel edition. Signing out. Leave your comments, subscribe, sub, and share. Look out next time. Follow us everywhere. Fight Club 2 graphic novel review. I believe this is the only review of this on YouTube. So hook us up. Man. We'll come back with some more graphic novels maybe if you guys like this next time. We're out. Follow us. 1, Fight Club 2. Go buy it immediately.
Yes.